Trawick of Elsie Trawick Wellness.
Hello, this is Nathan from Trinity Fitness.
And now you're watching
GoTarryn TV.
How are you all doing today?
Great.
Oh yeah, I'm doing really good. Thanks, Taryn. Thanks for having us on.
Excellent. Yeah, my pleasure. Well, I just wanted to kind of just throw this out there and just let y'all know I'm really appreciative that we're here and again that everyone's safe and healthy, of course. So first question I have for both of y'all, how is your fall going so far now that we're officially kind of into fall here?
Well, first of all, I have to say it's not fall yet until September 22nd, so I'm still enjoying the summer.
Oh, good, good. It's kind of icky weather where Nathan and I are here. Is it kind of rainy and wet and cold out there?
Yes.
It's not cold.
It's rainy. It's not cold today. I enjoyed the last couple of days. It was cooler weather first thing in the morning, but today it's kind of just muggy.
Yeah. Very humid, very muggy. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm so happy both of y'all can be here because I wanted to, as you noticed, I thought the topic of discussion would be really interesting, especially as a three-way panel from, you know, again, Nathan, you attacking it from the fitness point of view, and Elsie, you from the nutritional point of view, and both of you specialize in health and wellness. So I couldn't think of two better people on this call to do this. And kind of the topic we're talking about, it's unavoidable, the pandemic that's affecting everybody. It seems like every time I have both of you, you know, on our video blogs, it's all we kind of unfortunately have to revert back to because it's kind of the theme of everybody's life. We just can't escape it. But kind of as a positive, uplifting video blog, I thought this would be helpful because I think I mentioned to you both that research is a big part of what I've been doing lately in terms of looking up the correlational research of causal and effect between you know, exercise and fitness and eating well, how that affects and impacts people's lives with what's going on right now. And also, on the flip side, living an unhealthy lifestyle. We hear about this coronavirus attacking more people who are, say, obese or sedentary and smoking and all these other predispositions and such. But, you know, I guess, Elsie, ladies first, I'll throw the question out to you here first. Let's just kind of attack it here and just start. I'll throw the ball to you on you know, this relationship between living a healthier lifestyle and why that's important with what's going on with everything today.
Well, great. Yeah, first off, if you're living a healthy lifestyle, you're watching what you eat, you're making sure you're really eating lots of green vegetables, you're staying fully hydrated with water, you watching your processed food, the prepared foods, and the starchy and sugar intake is critical. So you're really staying on a good, healthy diet with lots of vegetables, lots of green vegetables. You're eating lean, healthy proteins. You're going to boost your immune system, number one. You're not going to have a lot of the contributors to chronic diseases in your system. If you're exercising, watching what you're eating, you're boosting your immune system, you're getting enough sleep at night so you're well rested, you're staying hydrated, then you've put your one foot in the circle of good health to ward off and prevent getting chronic diseases and catching viruses because your immune system is built up. You can fight them off.
Yeah, very well said, Elsie. Kind of ties into the natural antibodies. And Nathan, I'll let you piggyback there. You know, I know that you took a lot of notes on before this video blog. What were you going to kind of add on to that and what Elsie?
Well, you know, Elsie was talking about the chronic illness. You know, the three top contributors of death to COVID-19 are hypertension, diabetes with complications, and obesity. Okay. So if we're those are all three things that we each individually can reverse on our own with proper nutrition, like Elsie said, with proper fitness, with proper sleep. And there's 6 factors. People think, well, I've heard a lot of people say, well, he was so healthy, he looked so healthy, and he died of COVID or he died of a disease. And you have these underlying factors, right? You can look healthy and actually not be healthy. And there's these 6 factors that we can go with easy tests, going to the doctor and checking out. One of them is waist circumference. One of them is your blood sugar and your A1C levels, your blood pressure, your triglycerides, how much HDL cholesterol, which is the highly desirable cholesterol, and are you taking any prescription drugs or any kind of medications that are prescribed or pharmaceuticals? If you are in the good range for all of those, there are some other factors, but those 6 factors, if you have all of those in check, which we can easily look at, then your chances of getting any kind of virus or getting sick or having any kind of chronic illness, it dramatically decreases. And we can control all.
Right.
The number 8 cause of death for COVID is fear and anxiety. Most people that are hypertensive, have diabetes, and are obese live in some kind of fear and anxiety. And lately we've been seeing the fear and anxiety keep rising in people. And if you're getting, the proper sleep, if you're doing the proper breathing techniques, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to. There's so many different ways that you can work out and you can keep your body healthy if you're eating right. But if you're keeping your body healthy in movement, your breathing exercises, your sleep, you can do ice showers or ice baths. There's all these different things that you can do to get yourself from sympathetic back to parasympathetic, where your body can rest, heal, and recover on its own.
Yeah, I like that. Very well said. That kind of tied into Elsie, what you were just mentioning too, in terms of not only this virus but others. And what's your Elsie? You've always been very fitness oriented and health conscious, and you coach your clients very well too. What are you seeing out there in terms of how that component is of being able to just look at those underlying factors like the 6 that Nathan was talking about, and kind of just as a preventive maintenance, so to speak, on living healthier?
Well, I think that it's, instead of looking at what we can't control, we can't control the weather. We can't control big crowds in the grocery stores. We can't control whether someone else gets the vaccine. We can't control whether someone else wears a mask. But look at the things we can control.
Right.
We can control what we're eating. We can control what we think. We can control how much or how little we exercise. We can control where and when and how we do things. So pull your power in. I'm a big believer in meditation. I'm a big believer in mindfulness, because meditation and mindfulness gather your energy from out there in the world that you can't control, bring it in, center yourself, take a couple of, even if it's just 2 to 3 minutes of sitting calmly and center yourself, bring everything back in. Don't think about an issue you can't control. Think about things you can control, which is what you're going to eat today for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Are you going to get out and go for a walk in nature? Say you're limited in time and energy, while the weather is still beautiful and great, like here it's cloudy, but it's not raining. If you're feeling ungrounded, there are lots of techniques you can use to ground yourself, which is go outside, put your chair in the middle of your yard, take your shoes and socks off, and put your feet on the grass and in the ground, and just sit for a while and listen to the sounds around you. Try not to think of any one particular thing, but center yourself and take just 3 to 5 minutes to bring yourself back together, because a lot of what causes us to go off the deep end is stress and anxiety. It goes back to what Nathan was just saying. There's so much out there right now we can't control, but come back to the things you can, which are what you're thinking, what you're doing, and the actions you're taking. What are you eating? And also, this brings us back to what Nathan was saying about the chronic disease issue. Maybe instead of just treating your symptoms by taking the medication, don't go off your medication, but start looking at the lifestyle factors that can help you possibly even decrease or get off medication if you have high blood pressure, if you have type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease. A lot of these chronic illnesses are also directly related to what we're doing in our lifestyle and what we're eating, whether we're exercising or not. So it comes back to what you can control and what you can do to benefit yourself during this time of high stress.
Yeah, you're right. You nailed it, Elsie. The mindset, Nathan, that's something you talk about a lot when you and I are doing our video blogs one-on-one, and that's a big component for your clients as well,
yes,
isn't it?
Because I think, in this day and age that we find ourselves right now, we're very quick and easy to talk about oppression from other people and outside forces. And one of the easiest ways to get your empowerment and get control of you is like Elsie said, can focus on the things that you can control, and you got to let everything else go, because you can fester yourself. You can cause yourself to become sick just by focusing on all these things that are just completely out of your control. And before you start to have an emotional response to something, start to think, is this within my control? Can I control this? I mean, really, the only thing you can control is your actions and your reactions to the things outside of you. And if you really want to capture and get back your self-confidence, get back your empowerment, and feel like you are in control of your life, the first things you need to work on are your nutrition and your fitness, because those are two things that you can control. We've been bamboozled to think that, if somebody puts on a white coat, that they are the end all be all. And there's a lot of doctors out there that are overstepping their bounds by just putting people on prescription drugs and then saying this is your death sentence, which is not true, because I have corrected just about every chronic illness out there. So if you're consistent and you're persistent and you believe, okay, I want to control my health, which is something that's just very, very powerful. I want to control my health. You can get back to where you were from dis-ease back to ease. And that is a big thing. That is an empowering thing, because if you can do that, you start to open up the possibilities of everything else that you can possibly do. Taryn, you and I have known each other for a long time. And when I owned my women's gym, I, would constantly talk about the overstepping bounds of doctors and allowing them more control in your life than you should. Doctors are like mechanics. Right? Mechanic is going to need something big done on your car. Then you go to a mechanic. You should be able to put gas in your car. Right. You should be able to change your oil. You should be able to put air in your tires. You should be able to check the fluids. You should be able to rotate your tires if you really wanted to. Same thing with doctors. If you have, need brain surgery, you go to a doctor. If you need a splint for a fractured arm, you go to a doctor. And I'm not saying if you're on prescription drugs right now, I'm not saying to get off of them. I'm use a doctor that's open-minded and helping you get back to where you want to go. Like Elsie said, rather than band-aiding all of these effects, look at the root cause. And most of the time, and I'm talking about 99% of the time, it's inflammation. And where does inflammation in the body come from? It comes from our environment. Less than 10% is our genes, 90% is our environment, and that comes to the stress and the fear. It comes to the processed foods that we're eating and the inactive lifestyle that we have. I was really excited when we did have a shutdown, because I really thought that everybody that was making an excuse about why they couldn't get to the gym because they're traveling, to and from work all the time and they're so busy, that they would have all this extra time to actually start working out. What we've just done is we've caused people to sit at home and work, and now they work more and they sit more, and now they're moving less. So in a pandemic, in a time in life where we really, really need to focus on health as the number one priority in your life, focus on putting your oxygen mask on before other people put their, or helping other people put their oxygen mask on. We have now just not thinking about health. And now we're starting to see all these extra chronic illnesses, all these other layers of stuff. And when we're in a pandemic, right? Health is the key. Health is the key to survival. And that's pretty much like you said, we really focus on mindset, because mindset is everything. That basically, if you have a good mindset, you're going to pretty much be able to conquer everything that you want. If you have a poor mindset, then, you're going to be, dominoes are going to be stacked against you.
Yeah, good, Nathan, very good. And Elsie, kind of, just I like how both of you synthesized that beautifully together when Nathan was mentioning about, your mindset, your attitude, and you had mentioned too, Elsie, about what can you do, focus on what, you have the power. That's very empowering, and you're one of the most both of you, and Elsie, ever since you told me how your background of eating healthier and looking and learning about celiac and gluten intolerance, such. I mean, would you say, I've known you for a long time as well, as I have Nathan, but would you say that was a catalyst of getting healthier in your own lifestyle and helping others?
Yes. My whole story is about my love of sugar and how that has always been, the monkey on my back, and so many people, we don't realize that sugar is in everything. Mm-hmm. And we're guided to eat sugar. We're told to eat sugar. And the overconsumption, it's the number one drug in the world, sugar. And it is so bad for us. We don't need sugar for energy. We don't need added sugar in our foods. We don't need added sugar in our diet. It's lovely to have a little sweet now and then, but our chronic consumption of sugar is directly related to our chronic inflammation, which is, again, it is the basis of most chronic diseases, is having that chronic inflammation from our diet. And then we don't deal with it. Because we don't know it. We don't know it until all of a sudden the doctor. So I'm going to tell a story. One of my new clients was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and her doctor gave her options, and she decided to not go on the prescription medications because she did have an alternative, and that was losing the weight, making the adjustments to what she was eating, and exercising more. So she decided she did not want to go on the medication, not only because it's expensive and she's newly retired and on a fixed income, but also because she did not want to be tied to taking that medication potentially for the rest of her life. She wanted to give herself the opportunity to make the lifestyle adjustments to see if that would work. Right. And I applaud her for that, because that's a very brave step. And that's a woman who's gone from not controlling what she was eating, how she was exercising, not controlling those factors that she could control, allowing them to control her, that led to a chronic disease with the potential for affecting the rest of her life, potentially shortening her life, making her more prone to getting other viruses and diseases. It's a lead in to other unhealthy outcomes. But she's decided to take control. So we didn't have a long conversation. Yeah. She talked with the nutritionist. She's like, the nutritionist that we've said all this stuff, I don't really understand it. So what I'm doing in coaching is just partnering with her, providing the support and accountability so that she can make the changes that she needs to make and be a source of support while she's going on this path. She hasn't even told most of her family. She's so embarrassed by this diagnosis. And I said, the one thing when we were talking on our last consult is I said, a lot of times when we elicit the support of our friends and family, we get what we need. We get that cheerleading squad. We get people to pat us on the back. We get them to have comforting affirmations and prayers for us. Just knowing that they're behind us can be a big boost to people. She's like, I'm not ready to share this. I'm so embarrassed. So
wow, that's amazing. That is brave of her. And Elsie, I got to commend her on that. And you, again, the whole inflammation, what you're talking about too, and that tied back to Nathan. But Nathan, dealing with the women, in your career primarily, That was pretty brave. I mean, what do you think about the story that Elsie just shared there? I mean, a lot of women, I guess, don't get the respect and dues where some of these doctors kind of just, like you mentioned earlier, try to tell them what to do and act like they're smart and be all.
It's kind of like the Matrix. There's a lot of analogies that you can use with the Matrix. You're either going to just take the blue pill and you're going to go to sleep and you're going to tiptoe through life, or you're going to take the red pill. You're going to wake up. You're going to pull the blinders off and realize there's enough is enough. And there's a lot of people out there. I mean, there's two classes. I mean, you've got people that have completely given up and say, well, I'm going to be fat and I'm going to be sick, and this is just the way it is, and I can't do anything about it. They've completely given up all their control. And then there's other people that say, well, wait a minute, there's got to be another way. And one of those ways to kind of pull those blinders off is to find a doctor, is to find someone like Elsie, to find somebody like me that says, no. It might take some time. I mean, if you're 40 years old, and I think Elsie was saying her client is in retirement. So how old is she? How long has she been living this way? So for us to have an unrealistic expectation that we're going to be able to reverse something in a week or a day or a month, it might take some time. But if you're consistent and you're consistent, like I've said before, and you're truly ready to make that change, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because the more times you keep saying, I'm making better choices today than I was doing yesterday, those are improvements. You're ultimately going to get to where you want to go. So it's going to, I see Elsie's, the client, I see her both sides of that. The embarrassment of allowing your health to get that way. I can see both. I can see both sides of that, where the embarrassment is, I don't want to tell people. And if she takes it under control, she could reverse it and nobody will ever have to know. And it can be a great story to tell people, a great empowerment story. The other thing is to get with people that are going to support you. Because there's a lot of people that won't support you. But you're going to get a lot of people that are going to support you. You're going to circle around good quality people that are going to have your best interest in mind. They're going to be your cheerleaders when you start to fall, or you start to fall back on those old habits and those old belief systems. So it's good to have the good support, but it's also good to not tell everybody everything, because sometimes the people in our lives that think they have our best interest in mind are the ones that tell us, oh, you can't do that, or you can't do this. So be selective in who you're getting in your inner circle. But it's always good to have, people around there being your best cheerleaders and helping you through, a time like reversing diabetes and chronic illness and that kind of thing.
That's amazing, Nathan, because that kind of, Elsie, you say that all the time when you and I are talking about how it's important to have people around you that are positive as well, and don't let people drag you down. And you get those, Debbie Downers and negative Nancys. We've dealt with them before, but what's your take on that, Elsie? I mean, that's amazing. That it sounds like you and Nathan are just kind of like on the same wavelength here on everything so far.
It's really important to have support. It's really important to have, going back to what Nathan just said, build a community of like-minded people who support you really no matter what.
Right.
You again, if it's, we go through phases in our life, and sometimes we have to let go of connections. It could be people, places, things, food even. We have to let go of connections because they no longer serve us in our best interest. And that can be hard. It can be sad. And we do need to possibly go through a grieving process with that. But it's important to keep looking for people who put you on that projectile going up, who will support you on your path to be your best, brightest, most capable self. Yep. That's just part of life. It really is. And the more we transition and tune into what's going on in our life, we tune into our body, we learn how to listen to the things that are not being said, but are, will flow through this. And if one thing we can all control through COVID, through political crises, through work crises, through our daily life, is we can control our attitude.
Right.
And one thing I do when I get blue and depressed and angry and upset is I take my dogs out, or I go outside. I get out and walk, because I find that walking really helps me. And if people can find that one thing where that helps bring them back in, centers themselves, helps guide them from the downward spiral or the upward spiral into anxiety and tension and stress, but that can do it, find it, do it. And it can be different for different people. For me, it's getting out in, even not necessarily going on a long hike, but just getting out and walking in my neighborhood where I don't have to think about where my feet are going. I don't have to watch my step. I don't have to, but I can go mindlessly. It's a walking meditation.
Right.
So find that thing. It's hard to let go of people who no longer serve us. They may have been our best friends since second grade, but if they are not supporting you in your vision for where you want to take your life, and that means getting healthy, starting a workout routine, changing what you're eating. I have a friend who was over 300 pounds. And one Thanksgiving, she decided that day, she said, I can't eat like this anymore. So she limited, and people were like, what? You're not going to have seconds and thirds? And she was like, nope, I'm fine. You know, her whole family was, what's wrong with you? But part of that was her past pattern. They were worried. In a way, they were worried about her because she was changing, but she hadn't told them about her changes. She hadn't said, this is my goal. I don't want to weigh 300 pounds anymore. I want to be the person I see in the mirror when I look in the mirror. I want you to see that person too. And, you know, we talked and I was like, share your vision with your family. Right. Share your vision with your friends. If they can't accept that you have a new way of acting, doing, living, then maybe they don't need to be part of your tribe anymore. And only you can decide that. Not them, but you.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. I mean, it goes, again, we have the power to do that ourselves. That's our own empowerment, and it is up to us, and that's what we have control over. So very well said there, Elsie and Nathan. And both of you, I'm watching the time very closely. I promised to have you out of here on time. And just real quick before we wrap up, this was such an awesome video blog interview. This is probably one of my favorite ever with you both on here. It's amazing how long I've known you both, and this is the first time that I've been able to get on a three-way call with you at the same time. So we have to do this again with you both. I think you guys just nailed this whole topic today beautifully. I can't thank you enough. Yeah, and before we let you go, just real quick though, again, ladies first, Elsie, if you could please let everyone out there know how to learn more about Elsie Trawick Wellness, and then we'll bring it on.
Great. You can reach me through my Facebook page, Elsie Trawick Wellness, or Elsie Trawick, and you can also call or text at 404-788-1610. Message me or call and text, and we'll set up a conversation.
Perfect. And
awesome. I also have a Facebook group. It's called Trinity Fitness. You'll know that it's us because we have the big red N. You can also go to 21daybodytransformationchallenge.com, get one of my free reports on nutrition, and then also sign up for our 21-day body transformation challenge.
Excellent. And we'll have both of your information on the screen momentarily. But Elsie and Nathan, again, wonderful job. And we'll have to get you both socially connected too after this as well. And yeah, so again, I can't thank you enough. Let's do this next month again. And again, I wish you both a happy fall.
Thank you.